One. Oh, excuse me. I was reading this magazine from Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. I didn't know you were there. But I did know you was there. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm hyped up again. I was a little subdued on last week because we had the MVP, which the episode's coming out tomorrow. I'm a little hyped up today because I got, matter of fact, let's go in order because I'm not going to disrespect the co-host of this show. I'm not going to do that.
I think you should go out of order. I think this is a big deal. We talking some. I say go out of order today because
no, I'm not going to do it. Dre is my guy too. I'm not going to disrespect the show. So first and foremost, welcome to another fantastic episode of What's Good America. I am that lovable, huggable Prime Minister of Duval County himself, the chocolate mahogany sex symbol himself, because I've been back in the gym, I've been boxing, I got a couple more tattoos and everything. I can't wait to take my shirt off for no reason at all. No reason. Like, what? We got a Zoom meeting. I'm waiting for a reason to take my shirt off. Anyway, I am C. Turner, Mr. Westside himself, the man, the myth, the legend. And matter of fact, I put that on Phonem that I'm that dude. I don't know who Phonem is, but they say it in Chicago, so I might use it a couple times. For no opinion. And my right-hand man on my left-hand side was still my left-hand man on my right-hand side. The man, the myth, the touchdown machine, the MVP, the hands of satin and gold at the same time, the computer software selling, bag of chips shuffling. This man can do it all right? He's known all the way in the south suburbs of Chicago. He's known in the Bay Area. James Big Game Madison Walton the third. What's going on, dude?
Well, first of all, dope ass intro. I appreciate that. I'm gonna make this short. Am I known in the Bay Area as anything besides that chip dude that wears a Scully for no reason in the summertime? You bet your ass. That's all they know me as. Like, this dude wears a jacket every day. And we got people coming to the door. I tell you right now, that ain't San Jose, but it's all good. Hey, listen, we out here, we having a ball. It's been an interesting week or so. We ain't been to y'all in a minute. I can't wait for the Chris Dixon episode to drop. I want to thank him for his time. And the best part about that one, that's a two-parter. But Chris, I'm kicking it right back to you, man, because where we're at right now, we got to get right to our guest of honor, man. Like this is big.
Close it all the way, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to introduce an esteemed member of the greatest fraternity known to man. Now, that may not go over with Walt Cousin because we had a little conversation at the bar during Walt wedding, but that's a whole different conversation. The gaming expert, a soldier in the United States Armed Forces, the countryest bastard I know, who I am proud to call my brother himself, Mr. Arkansas himself, Andre Molden. What's good, baby?
Man, thank you, CT. Thank you, Jack. Man, it's to me. I'm the little guy, and y'all the big guys that I try to follow up to be. You know what I'm saying? Two suburb dads. You know what I'm saying? Great careers. I still.
I appreciate it.
And below on the 40 time. I'm trying to be like y'all.
Maybe
I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, both my hamstrings just locked up. Damn, Dre, that's some pressure. I mean,
hey,
listen, I know we got this flag football thing gonna start resurfacing. That's all gonna happen. You just made all my lower body hurt.
The sad part about it, I got to start training probably next month for a flag football tournament in January. That's how bad this shit is.
He fired everything up. I'm like, Lord,
I need some ice and hot right now.
I ain't touched a weight since I got married. That was 2 months ago.
Hold on. Wasn't you working out like every day for a little while?
I was, man. I was, but now I'm just lifting potato chip boxes.
Jeez.
Hey, I'm in there doing torso twists with Lay's poppable sea salt. You know what I'm saying? I'm shoulder pressing boxes of flaming hot Cheetos, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how we staying cut up in this truck.
Oh, God.
And weighed in. Hey, and here's the crazy part. I weighed in at 221. I'm basically at my playing weight. I just don't. I look like I can play. I know I can't play, but I kind of look.
Since you look like you can play, there is an open tryout here Saturday for the Billings Outlaws. If you want to get back out and run that 9 route, I'm just saying.
Hey, I ain't got nothing but a hitch for him.
A 3-yard hitch at that.
I got a hitch and a shallow crosser stop. I'm stopping right over the top. Right on the top of the quarterback. Said, 3-step. Hey.
We here.
I'm there. Is he covering me? Oh, I'm covered. Hey, go somewhere else. That's as far as I got. Good luck to all those. Good luck to all those that are gonna go out for that tryout. It definitely can change your life. Ask Travis Brown, he'll tell you.
Yeah.
If you got it, it can change your life. One day you're just up and known in one part of the state. The next minute, you're over there carrying us to a conference championship versus the Arkansas Diamondbacks. That's hilarious. How we've got an Arkansas guy. We beat the indoor football team from Arkansas that year.
So let me bring this all into to kind of sum this all up. Dre's been on our team since day one when we were just doing the Anchor FM, and like Dre will throw comments and questions and jabs at us since day one, and like he'll throw ideas and he'll have questions and everything else. So like Dre's been down with us. Dre's been on the family since day one. So it's been long overdue. So Dre, first and foremost, give them your Twitch page and everything they need to know about you and how they can follow you and everything else.
Oh man, you can start off like I say. My gamer name is Big Honey Bear 501. Got to represent Arkansas, baby, to the day I die. I stream games from Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, Madden, and I try to play 2K. I don't like to play 2K. I'm not a 2K guy. I'll say that. My son calls me trashy, and then I tell him to come hit the weights with me in the garage. Then he get mad, but you ain't gonna call me trash and then you gonna get away with this shit.
Hey, Dre is trying to be a suburban dad, but that Southern shit comes out all the time.
Are we talking about NBA 2K?
Yeah.
Dre, that's the only video game I still know how to play. I need to get on this Twitch page because listen, you weren't at my wedding. I actually got roasted by one of my best friends. It was probably one of the best roasts in the history of life because 50% of that shit was accurate. I couldn't even take any of that back. But it was actually my brother. And he did the other speech, and he mentioned this because it's a true story, Chris. I am, in fact, the greatest video game jump shooter in the history of NBA 2K. I'm talking like 16-foot pull-ups. I'm like old school Jordan.
Straight mid-range.
Jordan.
Straight
mid-range. Get to the pocket, off the dribble. Jerry West. Bop. That's all I got. I ain't good at nothing else. We get dunked on, crossed over. I've been playing zone defense and shit, just sitting in the middle.
So
I ain't locking nobody up on that game.
We're gonna run straight into it. So first and foremost, just say the whole cliche, Dre. Once again, thank you for your service and everything you're doing, because you're doing something that me and Walt have nothing but respect for. So, bro, sincerely from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your service. So we do appreciate it.
Here's to that, man.
Like, fuck all them political right wing, left wing dudes. You are fighting for this country, and that's something that people talk shit about that shouldn't. Like, we appreciate you.
Yep.
You're doing some shit I would not do or can.
Well, I went to college. I'm 100, dude. Like, that's not even a joke. Because in my house, I tell any kid I talk to all the time, wherever that echo's coming from, we'll figure it out. But very simply, in our houses, man, I think Chris' house the same way, Dre, I'm sure you have the same way. Like, you had 3 options. You either gonna pay for school yourself, you're gonna find a scholarship yourself, or you're gonna
straight from Zoom. Go straight
or
from
you
Zoom.
gonna basically,
Be good. Keep going.
yeah, or you basically gonna end up going to the military. Yeah, we're just gonna go through the computer, Dre. So you just turn your computer up so you can hear. So that's why we love having you on the show, man, and just being able to showcase like it matters to us at the end of the day. So yeah, man. CT.
So Dre,
I know if you start getting emotional every time you want to bring this up, man. Every time.
I'm gonna wait for a second before I get into it.
Every time you want.
Dre, there was an interesting game this weekend.
We're gonna go there first. Ooh.
Oh, we're going there first. We're going.
Let me open up some more 7-Up for this vodka.
So, for those of you who don't know, and only certain people are going to get this joke, or not even joke, but this statement, Simeon Austin, fuck you. You know why? It's direct comment. You'll catch this when you see it. Dre, there was an interesting game between the Southeastern Conference Western Division Arkansas Razorbacks and the soon-to-be Southeastern Conference Western Division Texas Longhorns. Now, Texas came into that game ranked number 15 in the country. They were 2-touchdown favorites for that game and came in there and got their ass whooped. Now, speaking as a person who's been in that stadium and has taken an L, as you've pointed out in our fraternity group chat several times.
Come on, man. Is that like why the jabs? Why the jab?
Because here's the thing. We have a group chat. We got a group chat for the frat, and he pulled up a YouTube video of me getting outran by Matt Jones.
I mean, but we talk about the Matt Jones.
And Matt Jones was that dude at that deal, mind you. But I mean, it's whatever. And then he screenshotted it and kept putting it back in the group so it stays fresh.
I circled you too.
Yeah, and then he circled me, my last name. Anyway, we're not going now. I'm not.
I appreciate the YouTube link he put on Facebook because I watched that for an hour straight on a loop.
I hate you people so much.
And you were not hard to find in that big ass 98. I can see why you changed to 13. You look big as hell in that 98.
Dude, and that's the thing about it. Like I was about 295.
You looked all of it.
Yeah, like I felt all of it at that trying to chase down this cocaine-filled white boy. So anyway, allegedly. No, that's not even allegedly. That's been found out.
Yeah, he got busted with it in Jacksonville multiple times.
That's not allegedly. That happened. But how do you feel about Texas now joining the SEC?
That's a broad spectrum. I can feel a lot of things. Do I feel like they should stay there behind Big 12? You damn skippy. Do I feel like we are back should be thrown off the fucking back of the truck and burned 16 times over? You damn right. I'm tired of hearing that shit. I lived in Texas for 3.5 years. We're back. Don't hook them. Hook what? You can't even hook a coaching scheme. You couldn't even hook a damn 3 technique to stay gap sound every time. He got his ass double teamed and washed to the Mike linebacker, and they got balled up so pretty. Sam Pittman, you are a god O-line coach, and I wish I could actually learn from you because damn it. Yeah, I got to do that.
Now, clearly, for those of you who don't know, Dre was an O-lineman for the prestigious Southern Arkansas University, and he prides himself, like a lot of athletes who don't play anymore, he prides himself at watching his position. Like I'm sure when Walt watches a game, he watches receivers. Like he probably watches the whole game, but he watches to see what's going on. I watch D linemen, but it's something different when an O lineman watches O lineman and watch them essentially gobble up the entire defense like Arkansas did Texas. It was ridiculous, and like I'm really hoping that Texas waits until 2025 to join the SEC, because if they get bought out and they come in next year, like they're going to be competing with Vandy for like the bottom spot for like the next couple of years.
Well, I would even disrespect Vanderbilt like that. Vanderbilt is known to make a run here or there.
That's true. Like every 5 years, they're known to pop out some ridiculous wins.
Yeah, there'd be some guys that end up having some nice little careers at the NFL level. Like they get some dudes. I mean, Vanderbilt is basically, and this is not me doing this, Chris, but it's the truth. Like Vanderbilt is
It's right.
it's the Northwestern of the SEC. So
Yeah.
they can only get certain guys in there. You know, their requirements are very strict.
Ridiculous.
It takes a certain kind of guy to be able to play there and excel there, because you coming in the underdog 8 times out of the year, you know, like you're not favored really in any game.
Any game.
And that's why Coach Mason's been there as long as he has, because it takes a special dude to be able to recruit a kid to come there and play. Why you don't see him? I don't think he's moved. I think he's still there, and that's why Fitzgerald is still there. Like not everybody can do that. And to me, Dre and Chris, we talked about this, Dre, with Texas, and this is one of those prime example things where I suggested to Chris, and Chris was like, "It ain't gonna happen." But do you feel like the only way Texas has a chance to compete, like they've got to find a way to their 5 stars can't leave us. Like they have to keep every big time Texas kid, they have got to find a way to argue that now that we're in the SEC, you don't have to go run to the SEC, like build your home.
Well, and you hit the nail on the head with down north. Texas had their shot before one school, and y'all know school, Texas A&M. You remember when Missouri and A&M came over to the SEC and left the Big 12? SEC commissioner actually asked Texas first. They said no because they had the UT Fox network, and they wanted to keep all their money.
As they should.
So, and I get it. You want your money, you got yours. You are the powerhouse of the Big 12, and you own Texas. But when A&M said we will sign to the SEC and moved over first, all them kids were like, I can stay in my home state, and I can play in the SEC. I can get more national games televised. Oh, we're going to fucking Aggie land, and they ran with it.
Yeah.
And after Brown. What's his name? I can't. Not Mac. Was it Mac Brown?
Yeah.
Old white guy.
Yeah, it was Mac Brown. Yeah.
After he let all them kids leave, and he got that 500-yard game put on him, by which is now the most utilized tight end, fullback, punter, quarterback from fucking Chase Hill or what's the kid for the Saints? Taysom Hill. When that young man and his starting running back, they put up over 500 yards of offense, and Mac and them got fired before they even hit the airport to get back on the plane. Yeah, that sent UT into a downward spiral that no one can stop.
I agree with you, dude. Like, don't get me wrong, that game against USC all those years ago, like we were all like, that was our high school years.
College.
It was my high school year, my last, I want to say.
No, you were in college too.
Oh, it was my freshman year. That's what it was.
That game took place in
03.
2005.
Oh my God.
Because they had already won a national title. That was Reggie's Heisman year.
Yeah.
Reggie's Heisman year was 05, and they played the game in 06.
Was honestly the best and the worst thing that could have happened in Texas, because they've had to live up to against that team every last season since. And there's no way in hell you're living up to that team, because every quarterback that they recruit that's supposed to be a 5-star is going to get compared to Vince. And that's not fair to the kid. Like, it's going to get compared to that Texas secondary, which was ridiculous at the time.
Plethora of weapons.
Like, because to be honest, and Walt, you were right, which I hate saying, but like, you can't recruit like that anymore, because those guys are like, you know what? I only really want to be here like 2, maybe 3 years. So I can go to LSU, sit down for a year, then play 2 years, and I can get drafted in the first 2 or 3 rounds. Or if I'm an old lineman, I can go to Bama, sit down for a year, come play 2 years, maybe 3, depending on what's in front of me, and then I'm going first round. that team just, like I said, it was honestly arguably one of the greatest games ever, but it set them back, and then Mac getting fired, and then them trying to find the next Mac Brown, but he's not really Mac Brown. But then I'm be honest with you, Steve Sarkisian was not the best choice for them at all. Like he's not a head coach for an SEC school. Like he's a great coordinator. I think he would do great in the ACC. I don't think he's going to do great as like the sole guy that's going to lead Texas to be back.
There are not very many guys for that job.
No.
That job is crazy. And as we were kind of talking, you guys kind of pointed to something. Obviously, Alabama, like what they churn out, obviously, to become running back you. It's become, you're going to get a top 5 O-lineman out of there every year. Whoever their best lineman is the best lineman in the country, Yep. You get some D linemen out of there. They've got the best D lineman in the country. That kid's probably going 2 or 3. You mentioned LSU. LSU's been DBU for a long time.
Yeah.
They're basically what Alabama kind of turned into, which was basically like, we got everything else, but we don't have a quarterback. Like, which makes sense because Saban was there, and Saban won a title there. So, like, they have a niche. That's the thing that I think is going to hurt Texas. Because I was going to say this. This is why OU might have a chance in the West, because they have a niche.
Yeah.
Quarterback.
Yep.
You go there, and Lincoln Riley.
You may win a Heisman.
Well, I don't know where my life was before Lincoln Riley, and then you're either winning the Heisman or you're starting on Sunday. Because his last 3 quarterbacks,
damn near won a Heisman.
2 of them won Heismans, and one of them just had a baller performance. So this Rattler kid, I don't know how good he is, but to be honest, I'm going to call it what it is. I'm not watching an awful lot of college football until it starts to matter. There's no need for me to watch it. I know for a fact it's coming down to 4 teams, and I don't even know anybody on these teams. I couldn't name a player outside of Bryce Young on Alabama, which is terrible because this is a sports show. I just don't care because I know Alabama's not going to win, so I don't even need to watch. So it's beautiful. Bang, bang.
You know what? I'm not going to do what everybody expects me to do.
Giving up 14 points. 14 points to Mercer. Shame on you.
I'm not going to do what everybody expects us to do.
Only scoring 42 points on Mercer. Shame on you.
They won't. How many Northwestern players started at quarterback this past Sunday in the NFL?
That'd be 0.
How about in the last 10 years?
1, 2, 3, I think 4.
So you had 4 in the last 10 years. I had 3 on Sunday.
And what's that mean?
You're not qualified because of your school of choice. You're not qualified to have this conversation.
I can have any conversation I want, Chris. I'm very well qualified for all conversations. That's why this show works. Because even though I'm the scrub of this entire conversation, I'm still that dope. Don't you ever forget that. Don't you disrespect me on my own Zoom link and membership that I paid for this show. Don't you do that.
Zoom link.
No, man. But in realness, Dre, I'm with you. And I think you should have a few more minutes to bash Texas some more. So by all means, man, have at it. What else do you have to say about Texas?
It's just, for me, it's the audacity. And like I said, I lived there. I dealt with it through high school. Some of my coaches used to call me Natural because I'm from Arkansas. Hey, Natural. What's up, coach? You know Arkansas sucks. Fight me. So that was my mindset because the whole time Texas high school football, we all know that theory. It is God. It is Mecca. I can't say it and I lived it. I enjoyed it. But once you hit college, it's like you got to go to Texas or you got to go to the off-brand at the time was Aggie Land. I'm like, dude, I could give two wooden nickels about UT or Aggie land. I did have a couple offers from I got letters, and I talked to a recruiting coach from LSU at the time when I played D lineman. Then my three other offers when I got moved to O line came from K-State, no, KU, Michigan State. Then I had one from I think it was Illinois. I didn't know who the hell Illinois. I'm like, who the hell are these guys?
Good to see.
Exactly.
That's the way
It's not.
I'm from Illinois. That's the way I feel about Illinois.
I was like Illinois. I was like, in my theory, if it's not SEC or ACC, I don't want no part of it.
Except
that was my.
The year we had Juice Williams. He was representing the Chi. Juice and Rashad Mendenhall, Chi-Town's finest.
And they were
all
going
the way
cool.
to Rose Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Hell of a run. Oh, you know what? Can I just sprinkle this in here? Suck it, Ohio State. Let's just bash teams we don't like. Ohio State can suck it. That made me so happy. I didn't even watch a minute of that game. But oh my God, I was just in the text chains and they're going down. I was like, good. If they can suck it, I can't stand them.
Well, I guess it's my turn. Clemson, you can suck it. You can score a touchdown against Georgia, so you could suck it too. This overrated ass Hawaiian inflated ass quarterback you got, so you could suck it too.
Well, I mean, that was at least a good game, though. I mean, 10-3, that's good football.
That's good to do. But to watch that game, their quarterback looked lost the entire game. Like I don't know if it was the moment. I don't know if Kirby had that defense being just super confusing, but he looked lost. Like, and I hate to
that spotlight his ass.
I hate to, but at the same time, when Trevor Lawrence stepped on the field, like he just had that, okay, I don't give a damn. I ain't lost a game in 3 years, so whatever. And he played his ass off. This dude came in and like his eyes were like headlights because like he just saw DBs everywhere and bodies coming everywhere, and like he didn't raise up to the moment. So that's my only deal with him.
I would say this: I'm not going to ever close any chapter on a redshirt sophomore quarterback who started football game. And we as the older statesmen, we have to do a better job of that because that's the problem with half the stuff that goes on in sports to begin with. Everybody's ready to say this is this and that is that. And the only people right now in sports where I go, you know what, that book might be closed. Might be like Daniel Jones playing quarterback for the Giants. That might be a wrap. I've seen enough of that to where I'm like,
go Broncos.
That might work. You know,
they're not going to Trubisky, so they're going to ride this one out.
Well, Trubisky's in Buffalo. He's not going to see his way to grass.
That's right.
Mitch
is Jones back up?
I have no idea.
They're going to ride that out.
It was Eli Manning.
By the way,
I'm telling you, man. So,
by the way, the Manning brothers game breakdown is the greatest thing on TV right now. Like it's genuinely two brothers watching the game arguing, and it is
yes.
thing on TV right now. Like they're legit arguing during the game.
Like I don't like to give the SEC credit, but I'm going to go ahead and give the SEC credit for that.
The royalty.
For the Mannings.
The royal family.
The fact that we've got them guys and they're still attached to the game, those dudes are hilarious. Like that's a sitcom waiting to happen that
that's
the world would watch. They need to get Tina Fey to write that or something. Like we'd be watching.
Hall of Fame dad, Hall of Fame brother, average brother, little brother that may end up in the Hall of Fame one day for going down as beating Tom Brady every time. That's a sitcom. I can't even argue that.
Ain't no if he's in I'm not saying Eli Manning's a first ballot Hall of Fame. Eli Manning's
he will get in.
Period.
He'll get in off the Tom Brady shit alone. Like he'll get in off that alone. Like, oh, you're the reason why he doesn't have 10 right now. Like, yeah, so he'll get in off that alone.
It's him and Nick Foles. Go figure.
I'm not going. Anyway, so I was about to break like the SEC rule and everything and get us like NC-17 ban on this damn thing. Anyway, all right, so let's get into it. So, Dre, we did a segment of the show a couple times now, and it essentially turned into like an open diary, dude, because like everybody has their take on it. Everybody has how they feel about it. Everybody has is different for them. Like I gave my take on what happened when like I knew the game was done with me and kind of how I'm acting in it now. Walt gave his take. So essentially like the open diary part of this, like tell us about when you knew the game was over. There was no more snaps left, no more pull blocks, no more counters to do, like no more crawling in the mud as far as football goes. Like when it was over for you, how did you know?
Sophomore year, slight meniscus tear. Didn't think none of it. Fast forward to senior year. Multiple of our frat brothers and people that know us, I went from like 285 to my senior year to a solid 308 stat. I was repping 405 about 8 or 9 times, squatting 675 easily. My fat ass could even hang clean about 360. And I, big folks and even tall folks, even Walt disclose we hate squatting, we hate hang clean, having to drop back in the hole.
Yep.
Well, I was a 360 hang cleaner.
See?
That was actually my favorite lift.
I hated it.
At 215 pounds, I was 360. That was my lift.
See, you was a beast.
The fast twitch was working really good in 2000. I really thought I was going to be a 5th round draft pick. I was like, yo, I got it all. Wrong. We're talking about Rick James, man.
Following your previous teammate of ours, said had went undrafted, got picked up by the Eagles. That's the same year Chip Kelly stepped up and went to the NFL. He said, he was on the practice squad for the first year, but he came down and visited us. He was like, hey, bro, I appreciate you training with me all the time. He said, but, Chip Kelly's style of offense for O-linemen were athletic, 300, 315-ish guys. I was like, okay, what's that mean, bro? I'm just a D2 guy. I don't. He's like, bro, he said, because me and you worked out together, your name is out there a little bit. Stop it. Come to find out, I actually had a couple scouts come, get my measurements, my numbers. Last game of the season, we went 7-3 that year. 2 games were actually bullshish. I was like, cool. Went to a little Division II hot bowl, a game. I was like, bet, I'm in to win it. Played it. We lost by 3 points. Nothing major. Goes on. I'm thinking, that was a fluke about me being hurt about. I actually got invited to a couple combines, workouts. A couple teams were like, we would like you to gain more weight.
Right.
What you talking about, coach? What you mean gain weight? Let's try to get you to 318 to 325. We know that you've had a career of playing the entire O-line, which at the time I did. Started at right tackle, redshirt freshman, left tackle, sophomore, left tackle, junior, but also started playing guard in the senior years where I actually made my money at center. So I had that utility belt type of stamp on my back. Love it. I'm like, okay, I'll gain the weight. I'll try it out. Did my combines, did good. I think my last one was at OBU. Went to go hit the L drill. First touch, boom, smooth. Come back to plant. Same right leg again, but this time it was a complete tear of the meniscus, patella tendon stretched, and I had a partial fibratic tear in my ACL. One of our and you know this man today, Coach Cole, CT. He said, Dre, it can be this. Surgery, rehab, and we still can push you to try to get the camp invite to the NFL. He said, if you do it, you make it. He said, I know you. You're gonna grind it until you're starting on someone's roster or you're a second death type of guy. I said, yeah, coach. He said, now if you do this, you will not walk your daughter down the aisle for her wedding. You will be on a walker. I was like, oh. And as what 19, 20-year-old, you have to make an adult decision like that. I was stuck. I was stuck like Chuck. I'm not even gonna lie to nobody. And sure as shit, at the time, my girlfriend, which is now my beautiful wife, we have 4 amazing kids. I talked to her. She like, baby, it's you.
Wife is more appropriate, but
She was like, if you want it, go get it. She said, but you, coach gave you the risk on the back. And I think my decision to step away from the game officially, I talked to 2 more scouts and I told them what was going on. I was like, I appreciate the camp invites, you know, the not being drafted, but you would definitely send that email and that plane ticket for me to come to your camp and try to show out and show up, you know. And I was like, I just seeing my daughter walk down the aisle was more important than me building a future that I wanted. And to this day, do I regret it? No. Does it still, do I still have like a little bit in the tank? So I think I can get out there and do a combo block on someone like CT side and then vertically climb to the Mike linebacker and probably chop his fucking kneecap off. Yeah, I think there's a little in there, but I'm pretty sure if I did, I wouldn't move the entire next day.
I mean, I like how he knew exactly how he was going to get this combo block off based on how you operate as a D tackle. Like he knew exactly the move, like the energy where he's going to put into each part of his joint, get to that cut block. And he's smart enough to go like, I'm not taking no young linebacker up top.
no,
I'm going to set him up, and I'm going to boom, lead him top. And he better be off my butt and gone. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. I just want to see him run for a little bit while I'm on the ground laying there like
this.
Head
but
up.
Dre, I think, dude, you hit like a comment that you just said, like it registered with me. Like you're asking essentially somebody who's 20, 21 years old, who's probably been doing this sport since they've been 6, 7, 8 years old, 4 years old. Like that's the thing. Like since you've been a kid, you're asking somebody to make an adult decision and give up something that you love probably more than most people.
Yeah.
Like that's a decision that does not come lightly, regardless if it's at the end of college, arena football, or even when it's time to retire from the NFL. Because the ego is going to kick in and make you think like, all right, I can still do it. Like I can still go. Like and like there's no time machine invented that we know of. Third eye open right now, conspiracy guy. But like, there's no time machine invented where like the old you can't come back and say, hey, don't do this. Like that takes so much more testicular fortitude as mankind. Nick Foley would say, like it takes nuts to make that decision because I'm gonna be honest with you. We've all played through dozens of injuries that we probably shouldn't have played through. Because I'm 37 now. Separated collarbone, broken ribs, lacerated this. 8 out of 10 fingers have been broken. Like you shouldn't play through this, but you go get that magic shot, or you sit out 2 practices or whatever, just so you can heal up from what they say. And you still go back and do it. But to make that final decision to say, I'm not I can't, and that's the difference between it. Like it's not I can't, I'm not. That's the hardest decision that and I say this with a grain of salt, but it's one of the hardest decisions you can make in your life. Like
We've all lived it. And it's on movies and TV shows, and they glorify it, and they kind of put it in a bad way. But for people like us, ball is life.
Yeah.
And it was like Kids came back. He's like, damn, bro, you done got big as hell. And like just to hear people say that, man, you got big, you got more physical. Coaches are saying that you have a shot. Even my head coach, he didn't think I had a shot. He was like, "Remote." He was like, guys are coming and asking me about you. So your name is there. Just and then when it happened, I was like this. Like I was like, my knee's not messed up. No. MRI done. They get right off the list. I don't get hurt. It's okay to show it. Okay, and I'll keep going. People like you, D lineman, that want to call me racial slurs because I'm biracial. Don't.
What?
Had a D lineman get mad at me because I pancaked his ass and drug nuts across his face mask. The next play, I trip over my right guard. He takes a size 14 cleat. Swollen hand like this, fingers taped together, still snapping the ball. Yeah. You people, and I don't mean that racial, what's good American, because I am biracial myself.
I would not do such a thing. Would not. No.
I'll say this, Dre. I think there's a beautiful thing, to that. Not the way it happened, but in a sense, you really kind of got to do it on your own terms. And, I think there's a beauty to that where there's been we've only had a few of these. It's been myself, Mike Bazemore and Chris so far. We'll have a chance to do it with Chris Dixon. We talked to him again, and just more guys we have on the show, their sports and everything. But there's a beauty to that. Like the injury sucks, but you knew the opportunity was there. And it was a bad plant or whatever was going on with the cleat that day, or the tape job wasn't good enough, and your body just said no in that step. And then you got to choose between what I want for me now or what I want for me forever. Like you got to make that choice.
Yeah.
And I think there's some great strength in that, and that's why we're kind of collecting these here and there throughout our podcast from our different ball players. I think from all sports, because I think that's a strength that I think kids need. They don't all get that chance. They don't get like me. I knew when it was time, and I don't necessarily think I got to walk away on my own terms, but I got to know that, hey, my best football is behind me. And from here on out, I'm doing it for a different reason. And Chris, it happened the same way because Chris and I had very similar paths at very similar ages, right about 27, 28 for us when we knew there's no more money besides where I'm at, but I can still make good money laterally at this level, and it can still take me some places and do some things. It helped him with Aris. I mean, Zoe was born, those are things I know. And my life helped me get to my wife, because I just kept playing. I didn't know any better. And for you, I mean, how old's your oldest girl now?
So my oldest child is 17.
Yep.
I have 17, 15. Baby girl is now 10, turning 11 this December. And before the show started, you seen my demon. He is 6.
Yeah. So there you go. So she's going on 11 by the end of the year. We're talking 15, 20 years later from this moment on this show, you're going to be clean, walking down, looking good. Not only that, going to be on that retired government money.
Yeah.
So cheers to you on that, man.
Oh.
Because I know my brother-in-law, who Chris met at the wedding, is 20 plus years in the Navy, and they just basically begged him to stay another 4 years. So I know what you're already setting up the future for you and your wife. Once the last one's out of here, y'all gonna be living a nice, wonderful, old, beautiful. Hey, we can go do whatever we want. We done took care of these kids. We gonna do us.
300 acres, prime and ready in Belfort, Montana.
Yeah, he already been looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
He already been looking at land and everything.
Belfort. I don't even know what part of the state that's in. See, my wife's not here. I can't answer. What part of the state is that in, CT?
That is an hour and 10 minutes west of Billings.
So if you go, all right. So before you hit Bozeman, all right, you got to kind of go down. So it's kind of by like that Big Sky area.
What exit are we talking about? You gotta give me exits.
I don't know the exit. Like I'm not just a geography class. I don't know, but I just know you go towards Bozeman and then you go south.
So you're saying it's more towards Yellowstone National?
Yes.
So that must be like Livingston exit.
It might be the Livingston exit. Yes.
See, you're supposed to know some stuff. You live there. Like me and Drew live there.
Here's the thing. When I have to drive across this state, I go 3 places. I go to Bozeman, I go to Helena, I go to Missoula. That's it. Anywhere else, I think I'm going to get raped or robbed.
You're not gonna disrespect my wife's hometown like that.
I'm definitely going to disrespect your wife's hometown like that.
You're not gonna disrespect Beauty America like that. She will watch this. You're gonna have to apologize to her. You better take back the disrespect. We own a house there. We own property there. Don't you do that.
Callie will wholeheartedly agree that there's a reason why you're not in Butte, Montana right now.
Well, that's because we have I'm not okay. Let me not put that. I'm not gonna put that on there. We're visiting California right now.
Yeah, okay. Anyway. Go down this shit.
Over here, get it.
We will have this conversation off the air. Like we will.
You're not gonna disrespect my parents' home. You're not gonna do that. That's Butte America, baby.
But Montana, get the fuck. Anyway.
Shout out Jake Larson. That's my guy. Shout out Matt Brophy. Shout my guys out. Mikey Waldorf. Shout out my boy Waldorf. And Trolley, my boys.
Random white people now. Just
random. These are my guys. What are you talking about?
Just random Butte Americans.
You're lucky you with me in Butte. Otherwise, they handle you. I don't care how much you fight. You can't take them on. They can fight too. I've seen them. They have fought wars for me over the years. I've appreciated them throwing hands. Thank you, my white brothers. Anyway, I digress. This is the way I feel, guys. I'm just going to go ahead and just be here because I think we got a little bit more time. I honestly think that this is the first time that I've actually been more excited for NFL football than I had been for college football. And I honestly want to say this. I never thought I'd say this. I think it is because of Chris Turner's doggone team. The amount of Alabama players that are in different places and on teams that have a chance to compete, for me, makes this very exciting for 2 reasons.
FLU, baby.
One, if they do succeed to a certain level of mediocrity, then it's good because Chris will basically go like, well, look what we did. But I'd be like, yeah, but nobody was substantial with winning the Super Bowl, so who cares? If they all suck, oh, man. Oh, Dre, we get to go in on him. On top of the fact that Alabama's not going to win the national championship. Oh, it's going to be a long offseason for this dude. I just wanted to put that out there. It's a whole lot of pressure on you. You know, you want to talk off camera. We'll talk about it, America. I give the guy credit. The last 3 quarterbacks of his team all started on Sunday, which is absolutely phenomenal. There's nothing to take away from that. Here's the deal, though. One of them played Atlanta, and the other 2 played each other, and they were both like, not the reasons their team won. And the Alabama running back fumbled the ball. So I mean, how much do you want me to dissect this about how great your NFLU? And then you had another running back play. I think he had like 16 carries for 48 yards. They won, but was he the reason they won? Nope. I can do this all day. What about that other Alabama running back that I drafted, who I know is going to still run and lead the league in rushing? How was he on week 1? Wasn't very good. What about that? Wait, I'm not done. No. What about that other Alabama player that's on that team? Had a couple drops. Didn't really help his quarterback out. Wait a minute. His quarterback played in the SEC. That's on that team. he was trash. You know, sorry, I feel really bad. Like, hey, because you know how I feel about Jerry. Jerry Judy's actually probably my favorite player out of Alabama, outside of Devontae Smith. I love me some Smitty. Like, so we can
honestly, I would have thought you would have been like an
depends on how
Amari
you want to dissect this Alabama thing with me, because you tried to talk about 10 minutes ago how I'm not qualified to talk about anything. But I basically know for a fact that the University of Alabama did not have a good week one. Matter of fact, Dre, did you notice that old lineman on Monday night that I think led his team in penalties from old lineman spot? Did you notice that, Dre?
Yes, Leatherwood did.
Wow. So that's what I want to tell you, buddy. That's why I'm excited about this year. You guys are everywhere. But week one,
and I sincerely appreciate it. Now,
you guys as a collective,
or as receivers, I honestly thought you would be like an Amari Cooper fan, like similar body type.
Coop probably is the only thing saving you, and they still lost. So
it's the Cowboys though, so like you got to it's the Cowboys.
That's another Texas thing. Texas, just.
Yeah, so I mean, that's all I want to say to you, Chris. Like, the thing about you sending me all this Instagram stuff you send me, I'm pretty sure you send stuff to Dre all the time that annoys the shit out of him too. The thing about it is that these guys, they don't give a shit about you. And
no shit.
And they do care about you because, you guys are a fraternity. Like, they care. But they don't care enough that, you're talking to little old James Walton from the south side of Chicago, West Suburban, born and raised, out here going to Truman State University wearing McLovin shirts.
Winning 3 games.
They don't care that I'm about to come back at you and basically say that I'm going to need week 2 to be better, considering that I've got the Alabama guy on my team. So maybe hit him up, be like, hey, King, like my guy on our show, he took you number 3. Like he said, you're the man. He came back to you after drafting.
Just to touch on that, and then we'll get into Give Me a Minute. Just to touch on that, as I told you in your draft, that hey, he's going to have like 4 or 5 weeks where it's like he gets like 50 yards, 45, 71, and then he'll have like 6 games where it's like 180, 157, 190. So you got to take the good with the bad, man.
Hey, Dre. You notice how, does Chris sent you that picture of all the Bama receivers that have played together in the last few years? Hey, did you notice the 2 best receiving lines from young receivers? One was from LSU and one was from Clemson. Did you notice that? And they were both on the same team. Did you notice that? Did you notice the LSU quarterback throwing at them had a better stat line than all 3 of those Alabama quarterbacks combined by himself? But don't worry, Dre, I'm not qualified to talk about.
It's a long season.
All I'm telling you is that Alabama has me very excited for football, because for you, it could be a really good like back-to-back off seasons for you. Because when we started this show, you were not he was not in a good mood.
I was not. It got ugly quick. I
mean, Dre, do you remember the first episode? Listen to him just go at the whole Notre Dame segment was him. I felt like he was just venting about everything that just happened.
He truly was. He was 38 hot.
Was a vent.
Fuck Notre Dame.
See? That should have been my give me a minute. What a waste.
All right, brother-in-law. Fuck Notre Dame. That's how I feel.
Hey, Bama side 5, man. No, listen. I mean, until they're beaten, they are the champs. You know how I feel. Chris, Dre, we come from the doctrine of Ric Flair. To be the man,
gotta beat
the man.
Man.
So until further notice, Sharon's favorite son, you are the man. But I'm always gonna jab at you. Oh, and by the way, hey Chris, remember that fantasy team you gave a C grade?
C plus.
They scored 216 points.
Hey, C's get degrees, man. C plus.
Despite Derek.
That's trademark.
C's get degrees, man. All right, America. We're coming into the award-winning Tony, Oscar, Grammy winning section of What's Good America, and that is Give Me a Minute. I feel like it's been a while since we've done one, so like we're gonna hop into it. Dre, you being the guest of honor, you can choose when you go.
Oh, I'll wait because mine. I thought about this, and I think tonight is the night. I want to reach all the folks in Montana and across the world. So I'll let y'all go first, and I'm just camping out on mine on the back end.
Okay, I'm gonna go first. Normally I don't go first, but I think I reserve the right because I don't know what Chris Turner's gonna say based on what I did. I actually got to give me a minute in, so I think this is the balance of this show. So if he wants a chance to just come at me for 5 minutes uninterrupted, I'm gonna allow it. But this is something that kind of touched me. And me and Chris, we were talking just about things we didn't talk about, just we've been kind of helter skelter, but we're getting back to the flow of things. So America, see, I still got plenty of Kirkland and 7-Up. So as I take this sip, give me a minute. So I'm going to kind of diverge from, obviously the games that have been good to us and we love and miss. And I want to talk about something else that's near and dear to my heart, America. I just came across it this morning. There was some article, I don't know what it was or what website it was, but I guess in the versus battle, there has been a suggested battle of P. Diddy versus Jermaine Dupri, to where Diddy responded, "No disrespect to you, Jermaine Dupri, but I'm the God King. You can't touch me. The only guy I should battle is Dr. Dre." And I wanted to remind Sean Combs that based on what I've been listening to for the last week, because for some reason I can't get these dudes, you can't even touch Timbaland and or the Neptunes. I love Swiss Beats. It should have never been Timbaland versus Swiss Beats to start this thing. It should be the Neptunes and Timbaland, and then it's everybody else. And I can't even include Jay Dilla in this because he's in a whole different level. He's not a versus guy. Jay Dilla is just a genius. So my message is plain and sweet. Diddy, understand where you're at in the hierarchy. And first and foremost, you didn't produce all them records. Your producers underneath you produced all them records. Did you produce Mary's records? You're darn right you did. But so did Chucky Thompson and Stevie J and some of them other dudes I mean, they had a house full of them. Dre was in there, he had RBX here or there, he had Daz here and there. But understand your hierarchy, Mike. I don't even know if you're on the Mount Rushmore producers. And I love Diddy. Diddy, I love you. But this is a true music guy that understands. Can't hold a candle to Jay Dilla, the Neptunes, Timbaland, or Dre. America, that's been my minute. And I actually think it was a minute.
Yeah, that was pretty tight. Where do I want to go with this?
I know I rattled you. I rattled you a little bit.
You did because
I rattled you.
I want to respond. I rattled
him, Dre. He was like, this some bitch.
I want to respond, but at the same time, I had to give me a minute loaded. So I'll wait for the Bama response.
I think you should just shoot. I think you should shoot to prepare because I hit you so good. You're gonna actually go research all that. What did all my Bama guys do?
So America, I'm out of my yak I had, so I'm gotta drop it now.
Gotcha.
Appreciate that, sir. America, give me a minute. For those of you who don't know what's going on because it's not getting the publicity that it damn well deserves, there is now a Senate hearing, FBI investigation on what is going on with essentially the United States gymnast teams. We all knew about the one guy from Michigan State. I won't dare say his name because he doesn't deserve that respect. Because he's a downright monster for what he did. Simone Biles said something that when you get a lot of money, like you kind of have to be reserved and you can't say what you want to say because people will take your money away. But she said something that hit me right in the chest and like it made all the sense in the world. She essentially sat in front of the Senate and said, like, you wonder why nobody trusts the government. We've been complaining for years. We've been filing reports. We've been calling police. We've been doing this, that, and the third to tell what's going on and how we're being raped and abused and neglected and exploited. And you don't care. I love gymnastics. Like my mom made me do it till I was like 10 years old, and God, it may have translated over to football a little bit. I don't know. But I love gymnastics. But the gray area that is in gymnastics is almost, no disrespect to Dre, but it's like don't ask, don't tell type shit that like, okay, this just happens. Like this has been going on for so long. It's just a part of what you have to go through. I feel so bad for all these Olympians and college girls and women and men and boys who had to go through this nonsense. Now I'm big on like, hey, not everything is what it seems. But if one person says it, two people, all right. When you got decades of people saying this shit ain't right, this shit ain't right. So American government, FBI, who's involved with it now, do the right thing, clean this shit up, because these people, honestly, they make their money by training and then they get to show off once every 4 years. Because let's be honest, most Americans don't care about gymnastics until the Olympics. So with all that being said, like, take care of these people who entertain us. And that comes in any and every sport, but especially gymnastics, because they're so small and like they're not frail, they're strong women, but they're in a position where they don't have as much power as they should. So America, that's been my minute.
Man, you kind of hit me right there. You know what song popped in my head, bro? Yeah, 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 yeah.
This is America.
Yeah,
Yeah, like,
so, I mean, it's not to piggyback off that, but I would like to say that was very beautiful. Because I don't know where Dre's going. I think we got a nice contrast going. So I want to piggyback off that and say, good for Simone Biles. And for her to say something like that, it's nice for her to recognize and kind of make it a, you know, she didn't just make it exclusive like she did to the girls, but that phrasing of what she says, that's why people don't trust the government. Because I think Simone is well versed in her house. I don't know her mother and father. They don't speak much, but I got a chance to look in their home before Simone went out of those Olympics. And I can tell you right now, I guarantee you they've been saying, well, honey, this ain't the only thing. So
yeah.
Well said, Chris. Well done. I'm glad.
Yeah.
And then we can deal with the Alabama thing next week when only Derrick Henry's the only one that shows up.
All right, Dre, baby. It's on you.
Bring us home, Dre. Bring us home, baby.
Hey, listen. It's been riding on me since the pandemic started.
So you got to give us that tagline, though. Honey,
I got you, bro.
Dr. Dre of Twitch. You see your name on the screen. I hooked you up.
You did.
I hooked him up, Chris.
What's good, American? Give your boy Honey Bear. Give me a minute.
Oh, I like it.
There we go.
This has just been riding to my core. We all know the pandemic hurt. the pandemic started a great podcast. I'd like to say this. We all have to wear a mask no matter which way we go, from grocery stores, barbershops, workout facilities, to our kids' schools to pick them up. Wear that mask. I support it. Put it on. I wear one every day inside every DOD facility that's on the installation and every federal installation because I have to. But while you are sitting in your own personal vehicle, within your own personal home, and you still have a mask on around your loved ones or by yourself inside a vehicle, to me, that brings up two worries. One, hygiene is horrible as all get out. And I'm going to say get out because I'm from the South and I could say worse, but I'm going to say get out. And two, you can't be in your own home around your children and loved ones because you want to put a mask on. That just speaks all type of ill will to me, because that means you're just a nasty individual. Because the number one cause of spreading the COVID is lack of hygienical beliefs, I'll say that. Or washing your nasty ass, or cleaning your damn house. So for the fact that someone will sit inside of a car and have their mask on when they're by themselves because there's no one next to them, because I can see through your windows because you don't have tint, and you have a full mask on. Now, when I get some, I pull it down because I'm going to walk to this building, so I'm going to slide it back up. But for the fact that you ride around like this in your own car, America, can we do better, please? As a whole, I've seen young, old, black, white, Asian. Just come on, America. Can we please normalize being in your own personal space, or your own personal house, where you can take the mask off? And that's been my 1 minute of let me talk to you, America, because that's been on my heart. Like, that's been here for a minute.
Hey, listen, can I tell you something? If I didn't know he was from Texas into this show, that boy is from Texas.
He country as shit now.
That boy sound like a Nappy Roots verse. I'm telling you right now, boy, them country boys, they from Kentucky, boy. My first song was like 48 bars and no hook. Dre, listen, man, from the bottom of my heart, because we've actually, America, Dre came out and hung out with us when we were in Vegas earlier this year and did a couple little shots for Christmas, live streamed us, man. Dre, I want to thank you, bro, for being that guy early on, just to be the guy to drop comments and let people know they can talk to us, man. Like, it's nothing like your friends and your family being the ones to give you feedback. And this was the guy that was on. This is the Andre Molden that every time we do something or post something, Andre Molden making fun of Chris or doing all that, whatever. So, man, you've been family with me, what I'm saying? And we've only had a chance to meet each other once. I know it's going to be plenty more times besides that. But, bro, thanks for coming on the show, man. I swear to you, I promise you this, because I've had this talk with anybody else. All you got to do is call and ask, and you are on this show.
Yeah.
We will talk about anything. A lot of the pauses, America, it's on me. I'm all married. I'm trying to be a good husband. I'm still broke. My wife is still carrying me. Okay, like, listen, okay, let's just call some shit what it is. I'm trying. That sound like Chappelle right there?
A lot.
I'm trying. Because, that's my hero. But no, man, like, dude, I'm telling you, find Honey Bear on Twitch, man. Follow him. He's got a good following going, man. I think he's got me hyped. I didn't know he plays 2K, so I have even more excuse to let my wife get a console in my house so I can get on Twitch and play the Honey Bear in 2K and bust his monkey ass. But I can't say that. That was bad. See, I just sorry, Chris. I went there.
It's all right. It's all right.
Sorry. I didn't have to do that. That was like we weren't on camera. But Dre, man, thanks for being on the show, bro. Like, for real.
Appreciate you having me, bro. For real. I love it. I love talking shit to you, talking shit to CT, man. The vibe in Vegas was that of a vibe. Like no one could match you. We had a good time talking shit. And
Oh yeah, man.
out of nowhere, y'all started an instant Facebook live and shit right there on the spot. I'm over trying to talk.
That's
Y'all
Sharon favorite son, boy.
damn a nine, and I was like, my fat ass couldn't rotate over all the way with it, you know.
Hey, America, we sincerely appreciate you on behalf of Big Dre, the Honey Bear. Make sure you're checking him out on Twitch and all of his socials. Make sure you follow us on What's Good America on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Facebook. I think I covered everything. And Twitch, once I figure out how to get everything going. I could have live streamed the show, I guess, while we was doing it. Anyway.
Oh, wait a minute. So we about to be on Twitch?
Hey, I'm going to figure out how to get Twitch
Oh,
going.
have mercy, Lord Jesus.
So, with all that being said,
oh Lord, it's on now.
I am C. Turner. That is my right hand man on my left hand side. I'm still my left hand man on my right hand side. The big James himself, McLovin, the Honey Bear himself. Follow him on Twitch. And Walt, the same question I'm gonna ask you is the same question I ask every time I get a chance, and that question is,
what's good, America?